extended mind hypothesis states that your mind extends beyond your brain and body to the external world. Tools like a notebook, a calculator, or computers can replace cognitive functions in the thinking process. Although the thesis is traditionally optimistic, seeing cognitive augmentation as a net productivity positive, productivity is not the only goal, and using external tools can weaken your brain capabilities when used in isolation. For example, it's the case with GPS that weakens your navigation skills, or browser usage that weakens your memorization. But with LLMs, the effect is more pernicious, as you offload higher-level cognition functions like encoding, compression, and evaluation of information. After money debt and technical debt, you are now subject to cognitive debt. Welcome to the AI era. I will start by introducing cognitive fitness and skill atrophy, two concepts crucial to understand the impact of LLMs on your brain. We can define cognitive fitness as the performance of key brain cognitive functions, like memorization, critical thinking, encoding, and evaluation of information. Like physical fitness, cognitive fitness can improve as you exercise your brain by engaging in challenging cognitive activities. Sadly, as physical fitness, it also weakens with the lack of stimulation. Engaging in reading and writing, for example, can feel challenging in the moment, but it's profoundly rewarding and beneficial for long-term cognitive growth. The effort itself is crucial, much like physical exercise where muscle or cardio strain drives improvement. Learning is enjoyable, yet without some mental discomfort or confusion, the topic likely isn't pushing your boundaries. Take my beginner-level guitar practice. Mastering a new song is fun but demands intense focus, mistakes, and corrections. Discomfort's essential for progress, as cognitive load theory suggests. The theory highlights that effortful thinking is necessary to process and integrate new information in long-term memory, forming mental frameworks. By managing cognitive load effectively, deep understanding emerges. Like you feel physical strain from lifting weights, you feel cognitive strain from learning and other challenging cognitive activities. That's where external tools start to mess with our cognitive functions, as we rely on them and understimulate cognitive capabilities that they assist or replace. For instance, studies showed that GPS usage weakens our navigation capabilities, or extensive web browser utilization impact our memory. It leads to skill atrophy. You might be more productive for certain tasks overall, but over time you weaken your brain that becomes less performant than before using the tools when used in isolation. Whether it's a good thing or not is not the point of this video, even though I'm convinced that altering key brain capabilities is not the best idea, especially critical thinking. But going back to the video, in summary, cognitive fitness measures the health of your brain functions. And as physical fitness, it needs stimulation to maintain its level or grow. Relying on external tools that replace some of those functions lead to skill atrophy, where overall productivity can increase but your cognitive fitness weakens. LLMs have an impact on your cognitive functions, as other tools have, and it might be worse. We are now going to review empirical evidence of the LLM impact on cognitive functions. And to do so, I will review the result from a recent MIT study uncovering two cognitive plagues associated with LLM usage: cognitive debt and intellectual homogenization. The MIT Media Lab study, Your Brain on ChatGPT, Accumulation of Cognitive Debt, explored the cognitive effect of using large language models like ChatGPT for essay writing, involving 54 participants split into three groups: those using LLMs, those using traditional web searches, and the brain-only group with no tools. Over 4 sessions, spanning 4 months, participants completed essay writing tasks, allowing researchers to analyze cognitive engagement, writing quality, and behavioral outcomes. The researchers used brain encephalogram, EEG, to monitor brain activation and qualitative assessment from human teachers and an AI judge to assess the effect of web search and LLM assistance. First of all, the LLM group showed a significant decrease in cognitive engagement and neural connectivity. Analyses using EEG revealed significant differences in brain activity across the groups. Brain-only group had the strongest and most extensive neural networks, with robust connectivity across various brain regions, indicating high cognitive engagement. The search engine group showed 34 to 38% lower total connectivity, with increased activity in occipital and visual cortices, suggesting active scanning, selection, and evaluation of web content during research. In contrast, the LLM group displayed the lowest connectivity, with 55% reduction compared to the brain-only group, despite interacting with the digital interface. This suggests that LLM significantly reduce cognitive effort, restructuring task performance and diminishing the brain's cognitive architecture. Repeated LLM use led to a progressive decline in neural connectivity, and when LLM users switched to brain-only writing, their connectivity remained lower than those who never used LLMs, indicating lasting cognitive impacts. The ability to quote written content varied widely among groups, reflecting differences in memory retention and engagement. The brain-only group demonstrated the strongest quoting ability, indicating robust memory formation and a deep connection to their work. The search engine group performed moderately well, surpassing the LLM group but falling short of the brain-only group. More shockingly, 83% of the LLM group could not quote content they had just written, compared to 10% for the brain-only group and 30% for the search engine group. This shows shallow engagement with AI-generated text. In terms of authorship, nearly all brain-only participants claimed full ownership of their essays, reflecting a strong sense of personal investment. In contrast, LLM users showed different responses, with some claiming full authorship, others 50%, and some none at all, suggesting detachment from their output. Those findings indicate that LLM use may lead to shallow encoding of information, undermining memory and ownership. Now, regarding metacognitive engagement. Participants beginning with brain-only writing and later using LLMs displayed higher metacognitive engagement, such as reflecting on their own thought process, compared to those who relied on LLMs from the start. This suggests that early reliance on LLMs can impair metacognitive skills, which are critical for self-aware learning and critical thinking. Now, we also have interesting results about writing style and content quality. The study found notable difference in writing style and content quality across groups. The LLM group produced essays that were statistically homogeneous across topics, with low variation in style and content, suggesting that AI promotes uniform thinking patterns. The search engine group showed less variability than the brain-only group, influenced by curated content, such as advertisements and algorithmic recommendations. In contrast, the brain-only group exhibited the highest variability, reflecting diverse and individualized approaches to writing. There is also another interesting phenomenon called bias propagation. Each group propagated distinct biases in their writing. The LLM group reflected biases embedded in their training data and shaped by reinforcement learning with human feedback, leading to homogenized, predictable content. The search engine group was influenced by advertisement-driven content and algorithmic information bubbles, limiting exposure to diverse perspectives. The brain-only group exhibited human biases, such as those from shared educational environments, but those were less uniform than AI-driven biases. The study also highlighted an echo chamber effect. This effect is a phenomenon where users self-reinforce information bubbles that limit exposure to diverse perspectives. LLMs exacerbate this issue more than search engines, as users engage less critically with AI outputs, often copy-pasting content without questioning, amplifying the homogenized probabilistic responses created by LLMs. In summary, LLM usage, when performing a challenging cognitive task, reduced significantly brain activity, reduced task ownership, reduced metacognitive engagement. Repeated usage leads to even worse cognitive skill degradation. Induced bias propagation, where user tends to copy-paste output from the LLM without questioning, leading to an even worse echo chamber or bubble effect where diversity of perspective are reduced. Homogenized thinking, as diversity of perspective shrinks, leading to similar intellectual production. It sucks, but there are solutions. Indeed, I love AI tools and don't plan on stopping to use AI. But I also care about preserving my own capabilities, not being so dependent to an LLM that I can't perform anymore without it. So regarding the solutions, I think the main remedy is to Be deliberate and intentional when you use AI. Focus on non-cognitively critical tasks like summarizing meeting notes or emails. When using AI to improve code or writing, we should actively analyze the changes to improve our own skills rather than relying on AI passively. It's even more important if you are trying to learn something. Don't fear the uncomfortable feeling of processing new information, which is critical to long-term knowledge formation. Maybe in the future we'll get cognitive gyms. Think about it. Modern lifestyle destroyed our physical fitness. So we built gyms where you exercise with your own body to improve fitness. As society use AI more and more, we'll have to somehow maintain cognitive fitness by deliberately engaging in effortful thinking tasks without AI. To conclude, external tools that assist cognition have an impact on our brain capabilities. We might gain in productivity overall, but our brain used in isolation get weaker. LLMs are not special in that regard. If GPS and web browsers have a negative impact on some brain functions, imagine what offloading critical thinking does. We start to have empirical evidence that overly relying on LLMs have a negative impact on our brain. Less brain activity, lack of ownership, reduced memory, weak information encoding, and thinking homogenization. It sucks, but it's not a call to stop using AI. Rather, changing our usage to preserve the best we can our precious cognitive functions. The first step is to use AI intentionally, to automatize low cognition tasks and gather information. But keep engaging in cognitively challenging tasks by ourselves. Remember, the strain is the key. If you become a copy-paste machine that never feels discomfort, you are not learning anymore. See you in the next one.